I want to offer my heartfelt condolences, thoughts, and prayers to the victims of the terror attack at the Boston Marathon. The human toll there is almost too much to comprehend. I also want to recognize the heroism on display by the first responders, courageous men and women who ran towards the blast, which they always seem to do, and immediately administered care for the wounded with absolutely no regard for their own personal safety. I want them to know truly we all do appreciate and thank them for their bravery and heroism of all the first responders who were there. The slaughtering of horses for food is unconscionable, inhumane, and needs to end. So the goal of this bill I am championing in the Senate and Jim is promoting in the Assembly states that with a horse meat plant in New Mexico reportedly nearing approval, there isn't a moment to lose for New York State to enact a tough new law that will better protect horses that are so beloved here in Saratoga County and such a vital part of our local economy and proud agricultural heritage. The legislation that Jim and I are advocating for today is Senate Bill S4615 and Assembly Bill 3905. It prohibits the slaughter of horses for human consumption and prevents horses to be transported across state lines in New York for slaughter. This bill would prohibit any person from slaughtering a horse where such person knows or has reason to know that such horse will be used for human consumption. Furthermore, our measure prohibits any person from selling, bartering, giving away, purchasing, possessing, transporting, delivering, or receiving horseflesh where such person knows or should know that it's intended for human consumption. Finally, our bill provides penalties for violations in an effort to ensure that such cruelty and blatant disregard of one of America's most majestic and noble creatures will no longer be tolerated in New York. Our legislation is about sending a message that New York will not tolerate the abuse and maltreatment of such beautiful animals.
I just want to give you one example about a horse called Ferdinand. It was a championship horse. Probably heard about Ferdinand. And let me read this. Ferdinand was a champion thoroughbred racehorse who won the 1986 Kentucky Derby, the 1987 Breeders' Cup Classic. He was voted the 1987 Eclipse Award for Horse of the Year. He entered stud in 1989 and was later sold to a breeding farm in Japan in 1994. Much to the outrage of many horse racing enthusiasts, reports indicate that in 2002, this championship horse Ferdinand was sent to slaughter in Japan with no fanfare or notice to previous owners. He became either pet food or steaks for human consumption. Totally unacceptable and inappropriate. We're the Empire State. Senator and myself and our colleagues want to start here in the Northeast. New Jersey, I believe, has already done it. We would like to have a federal law. This should be national. We should ban the slaughter of horses nationally.
Jim said, the issue of horse slaughter is something that is near and dear to my heart. I have worked at the federal level back in 2006, 2007, trying to work with other Kentucky Derby winning owners to push the federal Congress to pass legislation. Unfortunately, for a myriad of reasons, we still haven't achieved that. So I think that as long as we're able to approve this legislation in New York, at least we're going to be showing the way. And hopefully this can gain some momentum. Unfortunately, as was mentioned, it looks as if New Mexico is going to open the first horse slaughter plant since the ban about 5 years ago because no inspection is available through the Department of Agriculture. I was just reading recently that Oklahoma, the governor there just signed legislation to allow horse slaughter plants to open in Oklahoma. So, we've got an uphill battle nationally, But clearly, what the senator and the assemblyman are proposing here is going to be, for New York at least, a savior.
When they decided to do this, they got in touch with Michael Blowen, who is the president of Old Friends Kentucky.
Yeah.
And they talked about it together, and she really wanted him to mentor her.
Okay.
And he said, why don't we do it together? So this is a satellite facility named the Bobby Frankel Division in honor of Bobby Frankel, who was a wonderful trainer.
And how many stalls did we go through? 8?
12.
12. There's 12.
12 here.
But you had 14 at one time? 2 are out.
We have 2 horses away at the moment.
Okay.
And we don't really keep any of our horses inside at all unless there's some severe weather.
Even in the winter you keep them.
These people stay outside because they have run-ins. And that's what that little shed is called. So every horse has its own little spot if the weather's really bad. If it's terribly bad, the older boys, like maybe Thunder here, we might bring in if we had hail, any cold rain, it chills them terribly. But
and this horse, Will's Way is 20. How old is this horse?
This boy here is 24.
24.
He won the Travers in 1992. He's a New York bred stallion.
Wow.
He's
beautiful horse.
He's a 17 hands. He's a very big boy.
He's beautiful, isn't he?
Beautiful.
You want to give him a mint?
I'd love to.
You know how?
Straight?
Flat hand.
Flat hand.
He earned $338,700.
Oh yeah, he likes that. How much?
$338,777, which is
it's a few bucks. I don't have any mint, but how about some feed here?
I'd like that.
There you go.